Hello and welcome to the Making Musical Quantum Leaps podcast, where we're here to support you in taking your singing skills to the next level. I'm your host, Coach Worship, and I'm thrilled to have my co-host, Jamie, with me.
In this podcast, we'll take you on a 30-day podcast marathon, teaching you everything you need to know about diction for singers. Diction is the art of pronouncing words clearly and expressively, using your voice parts to make sound and speech.
Diction is essential for singers as it helps you share your message, emotions, and style with your audience. Each day, we will explore a different topic related to diction, such as vowels, consonants, syllables, stress, intonation, accent, dialect, and more. We will also give you practical tips and exercises to improve your diction and singing performance.
By the end of this podcast marathon, you will have a better understanding of how your voice works and how to use it effectively. So join us on this exciting journey of learning and singing. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify or on any other listening platforms. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Making Musical Quantum Leaps podcast, or email us at joinedenSchoolofSounds@gmail.com if you have any questions or feedback. How do you produce sound and speech with your voice? What are the different parts of your voice and how do they work together? Let's find out.
First, let's talk about the voice box or the larynx. The voice box is the part of your throat that contains the vocal cords. The vocal cords are two thin pieces of skin that vibrate when air passes through them. The vibration creates sound. You can change the sound by moving the cartilages that hold the vocal cords. You see, this changes how tight or how loose they are, and how big or how small the gap between them is. The gap between your vocal cords is called the glottis. The glottis is open when you breathe, and it closes when you swallow, and partly closes when you make a sound. Let me explain quickly. So, this is the reason why all those swallow this, drink this to make your voice sound better is fallacy. It's totally wrong. Because these things do not pass through your vocal cords because it will choke you. That is why we cough when we drink water. When the water goes into the wrong place, it causes you to cough because that cough is an involuntary action that is meant to send out the invader or whatever wants to pass into your glottis. Okay? So I think that's for that. So when you move these cartilages that hold the vocal cords, it helps us to change the shape of the glottis, probably how big the gap is or how small the gap is. So the sound from your voice box travels through a space above it called the vocal tract. The vocal tract includes your throat, your mouth, and your nose. You can change the size of your vocal tract too by moving your tongue, your jaw, your lips, and soft palate. Okay, some of you might not know what the soft palate is. The soft palate is the back part of the roof of your mouth and other parts. So, these movements affect how the sound echoes and bounces in the vocal tract. And this echoing and bouncing of the sound in your vocal tract is called resonance. Think of a room and think of your vocal cords as you standing inside that room. So when you make noise inside an empty room, what happens? It echoes. The volume is more. But think of your tongue and all those your other organs, your teeth, as bringing furniture into that room. The sound reduces because there's no much echo. It's the same thing with your vocal tract, okay? This particular phenomenon is what we call resonance. So when we are saying allow your sound resonate, we are saying create enough space to cause or create spaces in a kind of way to cause full resonance. Okay, so they also affect how you make sounds in your mouth, and how you make sounds in your mouth is called articulation. You see why you have to listen to this podcast over and over again, and why you have to jot things down while listening is because some of these things you cannot get them at a go. Now, the air that makes your voice comes from your lungs. Your lungs are like big balloons that fill up with air when you breathe in and let out air when you breathe out. Your lungs are connected to a muscle under them called the diaphragm. I'm sure you must have heard of diaphragm, think from your diaphragm and all those stuff. Now, the diaphragm helps you breathe by moving up and down. The chest muscles, the ribs and stomach muscles also help you breathe by squeezing or relaxing your lungs. Breathing for making sound is different from normal breathing. You need to balance how much air you take in and let out, how fast or how slow you do it. You also need to match your breathing with your sound making. Now, the air from your lungs helps your voice by making it either louder or softer or longer or shorter. These are the main parts of your voice and how they work together to produce sound and speech. Of course, there are many other details and complexities, but we are not going to talk about them today. Okay, let's just stop here and we'll proceed tomorrow with articulation. This is a good overview and I think it's a good start. So if you need more information, you can always go on Google and check how your voice works. Like I told you, this podcast is not just, we're not giving you every single thing. We are also teaching you or trying to cultivate the habit of musical research for you, how to go on musical researches yourself. All right.
To wrap it all up, I'll leave you with a quote by Ella Fitzgerald. She said, "The only thing better than singing is more singing." And she couldn't be more right. Also, our song for the day is Gratitude by Brandon Leake. Do well to listen. Do not forget to follow us on Spotify and on every other listening platform. Also, like this podcast and share it. Share it everywhere you can, on your Instagram handles, your WhatsApp statuses, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, whatever social media platform you're on. Please share the good news. Don't be selfish. We'll catch you tomorrow here on Making Musical Quantum Leaps podcast with another lit episode for you. Until then, bye.